The clock on the wall ticked steadily, 6:45 a.m. For John, it was just another Tuesday in the suburbs of Connecticut. The sun was barely peeking through the oak trees, casting long, calm shadows across his kitchen floor. He went through the motions he had practiced for 20 years, grinding the beans, hearing the hiss of the espresso machine, smelling that rich, dark aroma. But as John reached for his favorite ceramic mug, something changed. It wasn't a sharp pain. It wasn't a movie-style heart attack where you collapse instantly. It was subtle. A strange, heavy pressure settled right in the center of his chest, as if an invisible hand were leaning against him. He felt a drop of cold sweat trickle down his temple. He sat down, staring at his coffee. Maybe it was the spicy dinner, he muttered, or maybe I'm just getting old. What John didn't realize was that his body had been preparing for this moment for 2 decades. While he was building his career and raising a family, a silent architect was building something else inside him, a wall of plaque that was now ready to crumble. To understand why John's morning was about to shatter, we have to travel inside. Think of your vascular system as a massive, intricate highway system, over 60,000 miles of roads packed into one human body. When John was in his 20s, these highways were pristine. The blood flowed like a clear river, delivering oxygen and life to every cell. But life in the modern world is hard on these roads. Every high-stress deadline at the office, every processed meal eaten in a rush, every hour spent sitting still, it all leaves a mark. This is the process of atherosclerosis. It's not a sudden blockage. It's a slow, rhythmic accumulation. Imagine pouring hot candle wax down a pipe day after day. At first, the water flows fine. Then it slows. Then it ripples. In John's coronary arteries, the layers of cholesterol and calcium had become brittle. His heart, that incredible 4-chambered pump that never takes a day off, was starting to work twice as hard just to maintain the status quo. It was screaming for oxygen, but the message was getting lost in translation. Why do we ignore the heart when it speaks? Because the heart speaks in whispers before it shouts. A month ago, John was walking his dog, Max. He felt a slight tightness in his jaw. He blamed it on the cold morning air. 2 weeks ago, he felt an unusual fatigue after climbing the stairs. He told himself he just needed more sleep. These are the silent pings, the body's early warning system. In the United States, cardiovascular disease remains the leading cause of death, claiming a life every 34 seconds. But the tragedy isn't just the statistics, it's the missed opportunities. We've been conditioned to wait for the big event. We wait for the crushing pain that feels like an elephant on the chest. But for many, especially those with high stress or underlying conditions, the signs are much quieter. It could be a persistent cough, an ache in the left arm that comes and goes, or even just a sense of impending doom that you can't quite explain. John sat in his kitchen, waiting for the feeling to pass, not knowing that every second he waited, his heart muscle was fighting for survival. John made the call. That decision changed his story from a tragedy to a triumph. But the hospital was only the beginning of his journey. The real miracle happened in the 6 months that followed. You see, the human heart is remarkably resilient. It is the only engine in the world that can repair its own cylinders while the car is moving at 60 miles per hour. John had to learn a new language, the language of wellness. He discovered the golden habit. It wasn't about running marathons. It was about the simple, rhythmic power of a 30-minute daily walk. This simple act triggers the release of nitric oxide, a miracle molecule that tells the arteries to relax and open up. He changed his fuel, moving away from the inflammatory processed oils to the heart-healthy fats found in nature. He learned that managing stress wasn't a luxury, it was a biological necessity. Slowly, the inflammation subsided. The roads began to clear. His heart began to beat with a new, steady confidence. Fast forward to today. John is back on his favorite hiking trail. The air is crisp and the incline is steep, but his breath is steady. He stops at the summit, feeling the powerful rhythmic thrum in his chest. 100,000 times a day, your heart beats for you. It never asks for a vacation. It never complains about the workload. It only asks for one thing, that you listen. John's Tuesday morning was a warning, but it was also a gift. It was a reminder that life is measured in heartbeats, and we have the power to make those beats count. As you go about your day to day, take a moment to feel your own pulse. It's the sound of life. And now that you know John's story, the question is, what will you do to keep that sound going for decades to come?